Starting in Mastercam 2020, new oval and lens barrel form tools have been added. The oval and lens barrel form tools are listed in the accelerated finishing group. Tools such as taps, drills, spot drills, center drills, and brad point drills now display additional catalog properties during creation. To access these properties, use the Mill Tool Manager to create a tool and then select the standard sizes dropdown. This functionality is also available in the standalone Tool Manager. Starting in Mastercam 2020, the multi-axis drill and circle mill toolpaths have been removed, and multi-axis capabilities have been added to the helix bore, thread mill, 2D drill, and 2D circle mill toolpaths located in the 2D toolpath gallery. The tool axis control page allows you to choose between creating a 3, 4, and 5-axis toolpath. This also allows you to easily convert an existing 3-axis hole-making toolpath into a multi-axis toolpath. When creating a 4 or 5-axis toolpath, you can also access the Safety Zone page. Additionally, if you open a file created in a previous version of Mastercam that had entity type set to points lines, the selection now retains the lines and will display them in the toolpath hole definition panel. On the linking parameters page, you can now choose to calculate the incremental values for retract and top of stock from selected holes and lines, or to calculate the depth from the top of the holes and lines that are selected. New to Mastercam 2020, Toolpath Hole Definition now supports the selection of solid features and lines in addition to arcs, points, and auto cursor positions. When selecting features, you can now hold the Control key when clicking to automatically select all matching diameters, or hold Ctrl and Shift while clicking to select only matching diameters and vectors. All selected features will also display additional information in the features list of the Toolpath Hole Definition panel, allowing you to more easily distinguish between your selections. In previous versions of Mastercam, you were only allowed to select a single air region per machining region when working with the dynamic and area mill toolpaths. Starting in Mastercam 2020, you are now able to select multiple air regions for each machining region. Mastercam 2020 includes a number of new features and enhancements to 2D mill toolpaths. The Advanced Toolpath display located on the View tab now supports the following wireframe toolpaths: ruled, revolved, swept 2D, swept 3D, Coons patch, and lofted. Helix bore, thread mill, and circle mill toolpaths now include a new option on the Cut Parameters page called Override Geometry Diameter. This new feature allows you to override all of the selected geometry's diameter information and forces the output to the specified diameter. This option is only enabled when arcs, solid arcs, or cylindrical features are selected. In previous versions of Mastercam, if you enabled spring passes on the multi-passes page and set an overlap on the lead in-out page, you would receive an error when attempting to generate the toolpath. Starting in Mastercam 2020, this issue has been addressed, and the Contour, Pocket, Model Chamfer, and Dynamic Contour toolpaths now support the use of overlap when using spring passes. Mastercam 2020 includes a number of new features and enhancements to 3D mill toolpaths. Equal scallop and scallop toolpaths now include the ability to select curves on the toolpath control page. When selected, the toolpath is created outwards using the curves as a starting point. When dragging geometry from one 3D high-speed toolpath operation to another in the Toolpaths Manager, the pop-up menu now displays more options for copied geometry. 3D Blend is a new toolpath that has been added for Mastercam 2020. Blend is based on the Surface Finish Blend toolpath, but has been designed to be faster and provide a superior surface finish. Blend also includes benefits such as the use of stock and holder checking. The Blend toolpath is located in the 3D Toolpath gallery and is also available to mill turn users. The Equal Scallop and Scallop toolpaths now support two new strategy options on the toolpath control page. When closed offsets is selected, the toolpath is created with closed passes that yield a traditional scallop toolpath. Boundary chains, curves, and the z-depth and angle values on the steep-shallow page are now used to calculate the toolpath output. Additionally, the machining geometry selected will be used to determine the outer shape of the toolpath. When trimmed offsets is selected, Mastercam drives the toolpath from the selected curve or outer shape of the machining geometry and is then generated across the entire machining geometry shape. The resulting motion is then trimmed to the boundary chains and the angle and z-depth values on the steep-shallow page. Include Silhouette boundary has been added to the toolpath control page for all 3D toolpaths. When this option is selected, Mastercam will use any selected boundary chains along with projected boundary smoothing tolerance, contain, and compensate to when generating the silhouette boundary around the selected machining geometry. The Equal Scallop and Hybrid toolpaths now include additional options for tool containment on the toolpath control page. Tool Tip keeps the center of the tool inside the containment boundary. Tool Contact Point keeps the point where the tool contacts the drive geometry inside the containment boundary while allowing the center of the tool to move outside the containment boundary if needed. The Steep-Shallow page now allows you to individually choose to use either the minimum, maximum, or both minimum and maximum z-depth values. When using toolpaths such as Waterline, Hybrid, Area Roughing, and Dynamic OptiRough, you now have the option to enable Adjust for Stock to Leave. When the Adjust for Stock to Leave checkbox is selected, any values entered in the Floor Stock column for machining geometry on the Model Geometry page are added to or subtracted from your minimum and maximum z-depths accordingly. If all of your stock to leave values are positive values, Mastercam uses the largest value to adjust both the minimum and maximum depth values. If all of your stock to leave values are negative, Mastercam uses the largest value to adjust both the minimum and maximum depth values. If your stock to leave value includes both positive and negative values, Mastercam uses the most positive Z value to adjust the minimum depth, while using the most negative Z value to adjust the maximum depth. Mastercam 2020 includes a number of new features and enhancements to multi-axis milling toolpaths. Deburr now includes the ability to set a climb or conventional cutting direction on the cut pattern page. Climb cuts the entire toolpath in one direction, with the tool rotating in the opposite direction to the tool motion. Conventional cuts the entire toolpath in one direction, with the tool rotating in the same direction as the tool motion. On the Advanced Auto Edge Detection page, you can now limit the detection area by a set height, or by enabling the Limit Detection Area by Height option and setting the necessary parameters. This functionality is similar to the minimum and maximum depth values on the Steep-Shallow page of the 3D high-speed toolpaths. Swarf Milling now includes an orientation dropdown on the Cut Pattern page. This new option allows you to choose the plane which you want to orient the operation to. Choices include WCS, Tool Plane, and Construction Plane. In previous versions of Mastercam, modifying the orientation of the operation was done on the Planes page. An additional strategy option has been added to the Cut Pattern page as well. When using Normal to Guide curve, all edges are automatically obtained from the selected part surface when cutting.